how to crush your competition using content marketing. So over a quick little basis of what is content marketing. So content marketing is and I know there's like, a lot of companies that spend a lot of time on this, is create powerful headlines to immediately capture their attention. So to give you an example, ink, like you'll see here, it's 11. We've done less than 2 weeks ago. I've got 22,000 pages. When we put starting a side hustle, it went through the roof. Usually we get 1,000 to 5,000, paid views. This one we got 22,000, and it's only been 2 weeks, so we're super excited about that. But once again, spend a lot of time on your headlines. Are extremely important. Make sure you engage. Make sure your posts are data-driven and actionable. So you're going to tell them what you want them to do. Make sure you have case studies and stuff to back up your information. Provide lots of samples, case studies, proof, stuff like that. I have a certain one that we did. It's called Product Launch Ideas, and I'll kind of just show you that to you guys real quick. This was it right here. This was one that we did for SEM Rush. As you can see, #1 right now. It's about 1,300 searches a month. So this was an SEM Rush article that we did, and you'll see right below that, you might recognize this guy, and it's me, 20 inexpensive product launch ideas. So what we did here was, obviously went after some keywords, and we were able to solidify the #1 and #2 spot. So that's going to be real valuable, especially if you don't have to do any PPC. All you have to do is do some organic, some creation. But once again, we have a lot of information, great information that went into those presentations that we did. Another thing is that you want to make sure that you optimize text readability. So make sure that that everybody obviously can read it. There's usually, I think they say, an 8th or 9th grade level. You don't want to speak at a too high of a level so people don't understand what you're talking about. And then share offers and giveaways is another way. So content. So use retractable tone and voice that your audience can understand. Identify and address your audience's pain points. And so what I did here is I went to Quora just to kind of show you guys an example. This obviously doesn't have to do with marketing, but this is a pain point for a lot of people. Like, how do you lose weight without going to the gym, right? So if I was to ask that question, like, hey, listen, I can't afford a gym membership, or I don't want to go to the gym, like, how can I just stay at home and be able to lose weight? So that's obviously a pain point for somebody because they put that up as a question. So if I was a fitness guru or somebody in the fitness space, I would go and take a look at that, and I would want to answer that question, right? Because I would want to say, hey, Helen, the way you want to, or I guess it's, anyways, whatever the name of the person is, hey, this is how you go about it to be able to lose weight and not have to go to the gym, and you want to answer that question. And obviously you get a lot of views, you get upvotes and all that kind of fun stuff. But the idea is if you go to like Quora and places like that, people will talk about their pain points, and you can write about those issues and those potential problems. Tell a story to your audience, right? So make sure you do it on an emotional level. Obviously, add a call to action within the post and the sidebar. I'll show you a good example of that later. And then a newsletter is never a bad thing to keep people informed about content you have out there, things that you're doing, new services, new clients, volunteer stuff you're doing, and all that kind of stuff. So you got to plan your content strategy. Extremely important. One of the things that what I do at the end of my post is you got to do what your biggest takeaways are after reading your content, right? So the idea is so if somebody wants to kind of skim through it, and then at the end they say, hey, these are the 3 biggest takeaways that we want you to be able to take away from the presentation. So, some of the things you could do is how can you make your content appealing to your target audience? Once again, make sure you know who your target audience is, and what type of media will you incorporate and where. So, what resources will you need? It's important if you want to do video. There's webinars, and we'll go over that a little later in the presentation. How do you produce appealing and valuable content for your readers? And then how do you repurpose your content? Here goes a great little example that we did. So we did the actual influencer marketing. So this was right here. This was actually an influencer marketing example. So we're right now, I think we're '7. So we're kind of cruising on up. But you see here that there's a good amount of searches, 722. Originally, when we had done this piece, I think we had, I don't know what it was. I think it was like 10 or something, or 11. And then we went ahead and bumped that content. We put it up to 15. So what we did is we renewed the content and added more value to it. And then Google actually started, before we were on page 4, now we're on page 1, and we're number 7, and we're moving up the train. So, or moving up the top of Google. So anyways, that's something to take a look at when you think about this content marketing, is to repurpose your existing content. And then how are you going to promote your content? We'll go over that a little later as we go down. What type of content? Once again, there's list posts, how-to posts, social media content, newsletters, case studies, white papers, videos, webinars, all kinds of stuff, podcasts, ebooks, expert roundups, a lot of different things you can do. There's a lot of different ways to produce content, and these are all obviously examples. Looking for the right keywords. So as you guys saw, I just showed you some examples on Google on certain keywords that we would look up that we were indexing extremely well for. Look for what we call long tail keywords. So long tail is going to be, instead of lawyer or Sacramento lawyer, it would be DUI attorney in Sacramento, right? So DUI attorney in Sacramento. It's a longer term, and it's easier to index for. If you're going for just attorney, you're going to have people with huge $1 million budgets that are going to be able to take over those spots, and it's going to be hard to get the #1 spot there. Use tools like SEMrush. I'm a huge fan of SEMrush. SpyFu is another one, which you can look up your competitors' keywords, which is obviously really awesome. Avoid high competitive search terms like the example I just gave. Don't go after attorney. That's going to be a lot of big companies that are going after that. The chances of you getting #1, unless it's a year or 2 long, a year or 2 year campaign, it's just difficult to be able to index for those. Plus, you want more relevant terms, so the long tail makes more sense. So as I talked about, spying your competitors, BuzzSumo is another one that you can look at their blog posts, how many shares they've gotten on social media, which is awesome. Use the skyscraper technique, which is Brian's technique, backlinko. So once again, write your content to outrank your competitors, take a look at what they've got going on, and then do something better. Use SEMrush and Ahrefs to see which websites your competitors are getting backlinks from, and then you do the same. This is great for directory postings. This is good for a number of things. But the idea is to go in and see where they're getting a good amount of traction, where their link juice is coming from, and then you want to go and do something similar. Readability, we talked about a little bit. Optimize the readability of your blog post to engage your readers. Once again, if you're a doctor, you don't want to talk on that level. You want to talk like you would be talking to a patient. So same thing with marketing. Don't talk at extremely high-level terms unless that's the market you're going after. Make sure that it's readable for the common folks out there, for us, right? Do H1 and H2 tags to separate subtitles. So that's going to be, you see a title, and then you have information. You have another subtitles for H1 and H2s. And use font size that easily can be read and match your tone. So content upgrades, that was the one that I showed you guys. So a list of the top performing landing pages. So what I do is I go into Google Analytics. I look to see what are my top performing landing pages. I also see what are my top performing keywords, like if I'm on page 2 or 3 of Google. Then what I do is I want to optimize, right? So I want to go in and review that content and improve that content, or I want to improve that landing page. Because the idea is if you're getting traffic now and you're converting at a 1 or 2%, let's what happens if we convert at 3 or 4? Well, you're doubling that, right? You don't have to get more traffic; you just have to convert the people that are there. So that's obviously the more on the conversion side of things, but the content upgrade is really important, and it's really, really valuable. We've seen some great results from us going in and redoing old content. Contribute content to top publishers. I think this is a no-brainer. Obviously, like I said, I write for Inc. and Forbes and all these fun sites. I've written for 130, I think, different websites in the last few years. So these are great. If you have great content, you can obviously pitch those guys. Be careful, because I obviously get pitched a lot on, people wanting to add stuff to my website. Make sure you go about it the right way. It's everybody obviously, emails and, it's kind of has their hand out. It's always nice if you can offer some value to somebody before you ask for some type of a backlink for them to share your infographic or gifographic. So add some value there. Things you can do is you can look at, I want to look at the domain authority. So there's the DA and the PA, right? Domain authority and page authority. You want a domain authority of, I say 16 above, because my site's at a 50, probably 55, I think, or something like that. So I always want to go for sites that are higher than mine. If you have a site of a 20 or 30, you can go for a 30 or 40 or 50. If you're able to get one on a 90 or 100 and you offered some value and they took it up, then that's an awesome way to go as well. But once again, keep it realistic. If you're brand new and just starting off, you go after the big dogs. Once again, they get a lot of people that inquire with them on a daily basis. So use visuals. Infographics and gifographics. I have a little shameless plug at the end. I do have a company that creates these for quite a few of the marketing professionals out there and experts out there, and quite a few big websites. But I'll kind of show you some of those infographics and gifographics are really awesome. They show up really well, like on Twitter and stuff. That kind of shows the gifographic is a moving infographics, so static would be an infographic, doesn't do anything. Gifo is action or motion. So those are really cool. and share these, through relevant publishers. And there's sites that actually you can put your infographics and gifographics on to share the quality of them. Good backlinks and a good way to, once you just make sure they're relevant. And then post on social media, obviously, and then the relevant, you can obviously put it on your website and engage your readers from there. Lead magnets. So lead magnet is going to be something that, where if you're putting content on somebody else's website, a lead magnet is when you come to a website and they offer a free guide or access to their latest studies or a cheat sheet, video training, right, or free templates, free trials, whatever that may be. A lead magnet's important because what that does is that gets a name and email address, well, at least a minimum of that, sometimes more information. The idea of it is to get that information and now you put them in some kind of an email funnel or an email drip, right? So you want to offer them something or give them something or include them in your newsletter and give them value. And the idea is to give tons of value, and there's going to be a point where they go, wow, Shane's giving me so much great content, so much great value. I think he's somebody that I'd want to hire to bring on, full-time or part-time to write content for me. So we'll talk about that a little further too about lead magnets. I'll show you some examples. So here we go, lead magnets to boost your subscriber list, like I just kind of touched on. Implement category related lead magnet pop-ups. So, the idea is if I have an influencer marketing post and my lead magnet on there talks about how to do SEO or a checklist for SEO, those don't necessarily match, right? So the idea is you want to have a lead magnet that matches the relevant category. And I'll show you an example of that. Add inline banners to invite users to download lead magnets, right? And then do text-based downloadable links. And then obviously you can do lead magnet banners inside the sidebar. So I'm going to show you a little example of this. So this is actually one of my posts, my 10. This is a gifographic, so you guys can kind of see the things that are going back and forth. So 10 influencer marketing case studies with insane results. I got about 2,500 shares, got a good amount of shares. And you can kind of see here as we kind of go down, there's a lot of information in here. So, a lot of case studies and value and stuff. And so you'll see as you kind of go through this thing, here goes case study number 3. And then look what we have here. We have, hey, free influencer marketing consultant, take your company from 5 figures to 7 figures. Here's a free consultation. What happens? They click on it. And you might recognize this guy. He looks just like me. Get a free consultation for 30 minutes. So great. Let's say they don't like that ad. That's that banner, not a problem. We kind of go down. We go down. We go down. Hey, it's so good. Hey, there goes that guy again, that Shane Barker guy. So here we go. These are the proven techniques I use for every successful entrepreneur campaign. Click here. Click on it, and guess what? Now they can download my ebook, my influencer ebook, right? So if I had an SEO ebook, it wouldn't necessarily make sense if they're coming in off an influencer marketing case study, right? So we want to make sure that's relevant. Obviously, go all the way down, and then you guys go down to the bottom, and you can see, once again, I hit them with one of these again, and they can get that free consultation. So once again, really important that it makes sense that the offer that you're offering there coincides with the content that you have on there. So let's see, we've got that. So promote your content. So, this is one of the biggest things. So now that you've created the content, like what are you going to do to boost it, right? What are you going to do to distribute the content? So build the social media community, obviously, again, put it on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and wherever else, Instagram, where you want to put it and share your content. Choose the best time to share your posts. There's a lot of software out there that'll tell you, hey, the best times are Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. for you if you're Pacific Standard Time. And they'll actually look at that so you can share the content. Obviously, it depends on the content and depends on a number of different things. But that's something kind of cool to take a look at. Maintain your schedule consistently. So my blog posts come out every morning at 8 a.m. We're real strict on that because there's people hopefully all over the world that they wait for my content to come through, right? They wait for that newsletter to come through, and then they can actually take a look at it and see the content, and they go, 8 o'clock. It's just no different than people with the paper. My mom with the paper, she knows the paper comes at 6:30 every morning. She gets her coffee at 6:15, 6:30 the paper comes. So it's the same thing with this. You want to be consistent with your schedules. I tell a lot of the YouTube influencers that I work with, like, hey, put your content out consistently the same day or the same week or whatever that is. And the same thing with your podcast. Make sure you're consistent with that time. Include an original graphic to attract users. Kind of we talk about infographics or gifographics. We got, accompany your post with a short but captivating caption. That's going to be important as well when you look on Google. So we have the little meta descriptions on there. So make sure, once again, it's something that somebody's going to want to click on. Share in multiple groups, build links. So, there goes Facebook groups, there's LinkedIn groups, there's all kinds of groups. Make sure when you share in those groups that it makes sense, your content makes sense for the group. And make sure you add value to the group. There's plenty of people that just add groups and then all of a sudden start sharing all these links. Obviously, you're just looking for somebody to look at your content. Add value to the group first before you start spamming them with all of your links, and make sure that they're relevant. It's extremely important. So The distribution of your content, this is one of my little hidden secrets. I don't tell a lot of people about it, but I'm going to tell you guys. It's a company called Q Promote, and they've been around for a little while. Awesome team over there. They do some really, really cool things. I've been using them for a long time. And what it does is, I can kind of show you guys. When you actually log into it, what it'll do, it actually will show you, it has all the different content that they go and they curate. I share the content with them. They say, hey, this is a great piece, Shane. We want to share it. Okay, great. Sounds good. I'll show you my active posts. These are ones we just did. So if you look, if you look at some of these things as we go down, this one got 232 shares. How many clicks? So what it is they approve the content and then they actually put the content up on other experts' sites on their social media profiles, and it's great exposure. So some of my pieces have gotten, some of these other ones I think have gotten 333 shares, 426. So you obviously pay for this, but then they distribute it out, which is awesome because now I have, and this one's 510. It's just awesome. And once again, take a look at Q Promote. There's some awesome team over there as well. And then invest in some paid promotions. We do a lot of Facebook ads. So if somebody comes to my website, we can do a lookalike audience, and then we'll share my Inc. articles, my Forbes articles. The idea is to drive them back to your website and get them to fill out, a 30-minute consultation or some type of a form or download a lead magnet. So, once again, so you guys so I can reach out to them through email or do a newsletter or something. So here we go. This is the big takeaway. So, one of the things that we got to do, best advice for content marketing. So make your users feel special. Make sure that content is awesome. And engagement is important. So if somebody asks you a question, make sure you respond to them. It's no different. I tell people, if you have a physical store that you run, and if somebody walks up to you and says, hey, I was wondering, where do I find this? And if you just stared at them and didn't do anything, it's kind of weird, right? It's the same thing online. The idea is that you want to respond to those people and give them the insight, give them the information they need. And so it's just important, make them feel special. Don't ever pitch your services or products. Add value first. Add value is the key to this.
Else if you want. I got to do it.
Oh, we got somebody's audio, and I don't know so don't overpitch your services. Make sure you add value. You want to build strong engagement as well. As I talked about, engagement's important. And then always segment your audience to target personalizing relevant email campaigns. That's what we're talking about, the segmentation on the lead magnet that we did. And now let's go ahead and go into any questions that you guys might have. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the PowerPoint. This is also a little shameless plug here. Obviously, I'm Shane Barker. These are companies that I actually own, that I'm a co-founder in, but gifographics.co is where you can go and see infographics and gifographics that we create for a lot of companies. Content Solutions is where we do content. So we do blog posts, we do brand mentions, we do case studies, we do anything and anything you can think of from a content perspective we do. And then Shane Barker is my consulting website. So if you ever need to reach out, obviously you guys know I'm offering a free 30-minute consultation because you saw that. So if you need help with influencer marketing or SEO,